Wake up, wake up. It's the first of the month. Happy Labor Day. It is Sports Idiot Nation, and we got a lot of things to talk about in college football. We'll check in with the SEC, find out what their record is, as TI is pretty happy. And I'll tell you, the Utah defense, I tried to tell you guys that the Utah defense was really good.
Hold up. I think I recall you saying that their defense is not always that terrible, but I digress. Sports, comedy, pop culture, and everything in between. By idiots, for idiots.
And T.I., I'm not trying to copy you with my glasses. I'm definitely in mourning, and I know you guys are going to rag me about this, but excited to get started.
This is Sports Idiot Nation.
Sports, comedy, pop culture, and everything in between. Welcome back, sinners. This is Season 2 of Sports Idiot Nation.
Welcome in. It is a Monday. Sports Idiot Nation comes to you every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And today, happy Labor Day to all of you. You should have more time to catch up on lost episodes. Also, you should have time to check in with Rachel and her besties podcast, Sports Uncorked. They did the Tinder swiping. That was a lot of fun. So we welcome back Rachel. She had the guts to come on. She is in mourning along with Marissa, but we'll get into that for sure. We have to give Auburn their credit, I know, to the chagrin of Rachel, but I want to start. We're going to get into everything, but I want to start as it's all fresh in our mind, the game just last night that ended just hours ago, because I got to say, as far as all the ranked games, LSU, I'll give that game a little bit of credit, but I like a little bit more offense in my football. So I'll give it to, this Notre Dame Miami game. I got to be honest, Rachel, I thought that Miami was going to run away with it. We were texting during the game, and I said, pivotal point. They just took up the entire third quarter. They just scored. Then I was like, it's over for Notre Dame. And yes, I know they lost, but what did you think of their second half fight?
I mean, you can never count Notre Dame out is one thing that I've learned. They have Lucky Charms in their bowl, and I don't know. CJ Carr was shockingly good for this being like, you wouldn't think that he was right out the gate as like a first-time starter. I mean, he was shockingly efficient, shockingly commanding the team. I was thoroughly impressed and thought if they had anybody else on the other side of the ball, we might not be in this situation.
For sure. We lost your video. Oh, and now you're back.
I'm sorry.
You're back and prettier than ever.
Prettier
than you were 37 seconds ago. Yeah, I thought that Lloyd Carr's grandson, first of all, I mean, I guess I feel like he should have went to Michigan. I know the story about his brother died and they raised all that money in Ann Arbor and all that. Like, I thought, well, that's just automatic then that you go to University of Michigan, but he went to Notre Dame. It worked out for him, I guess. I mean, that he didn't entirely crap the bed, I guess I would say. T.I., what did you think?
I would say, he did okay. I mean, he looked a little flustered a couple times. He looked like that he would, like you said, that he was about to kind of falter and Miami was about to run away with it. But yeah, he did step it up there. I need to see him against
a little bit more.
I don't buy Miami. I just don't buy it. It's the first game of the year. I don't think Miami's going to be as good as where they're ranked. I think Carson Beck did fine, but he did pretty well. He did. He looked good. He looked comfortable, as Marissa said. Sid from Ice Age over there, but I was impressed. I like watching those late night Sunday night games where I have no invested interest in the outcome
and you're just seeing a good enjoying. Game. Yeah.
And there's a part of me that's always satisfied when Notre Dame loses. So So kudos to them. And I also want my quarterback here in Nashville to go into the season on a high note. So he's going to be feeling good. You know, his team, Miami, just got a nice top 10 win on opening week. So kudos to Cam Ward. I'm sure he's feeling it. So hopefully he can go out and parlay that into a win against the Broncos this week. And I'd be feeling good, you know. So, yeah. Other than that, man, hey, kudos to Notre Dame for losing. Always makes me happy.
Yeah.
But like Rachel said, you can never count out Notre Dame. And as like we always say, even with 3 losses, Notre Dame is always still in the title hunt for some reason, you know? So
I know. And no conference. Like, that's still irritating. Join a damn conference if you want to be taken seriously.
What's the over-under on years that it will take? Like 10 years before something happens where, well, no, here's the problem. I just caught it myself. We're allowing more teams and more teams every 2 to 10 years that it's like they're always going to be in. All of a sudden, we're going to have 50 teams, and Notre Dame's just by default always going to be in the top 50. And we just, the bowl games, you know.
They're never going to join a conference, especially with the expansion of the playoffs and with conferences playing more and more in conference games, but also being kind of encouraged to play some of these tougher non-conference games. Notre Dame's set up to be fine, and they're going to continue to take and keep all that money themselves from those TV deals.
Right. They may be forced to play a Big Ten schedule since half of college football will just be the Big Ten, like north of the, is that the Mason-Dixon line? What line is that? I don't know what we're saying, you know, wherever that's going to be, but that might happen.
It's the United Borders of Canada. That's what it's called. That's pretty much what it'll be.
It's above Nashville. Any space above Nashville.
Didn't Notre Dame join the ACC in basketball? But
yes,
they did not join.
Because there's no money. Because there's no money.
We're gonna date around. Our sports are gonna date around. Oh, our volleyball team. They're actually totally different. They're over here in the Pac-10. Yeah, they're Pac-12. Our volleyball team's Pac-12. Like, come on, Notre Dame. Just, I get it. You know, the money behind the whole thing. I get it. I mean, I get it. You know, it's like the Yankees. Yankees make more money on their TV deals than they even do just ticket sales. So, I mean, you know, I get that for sure, but it's just kind of ridiculous. It's like it's a ongoing joke with Notre Dame.
We talked about this on a previous episode after the Jerry Jones thing. He was actually, this is where I respected him, because the whole NFL was Coke, and if the Saints went 0-16, they shared the same market share as the 49ers, who went 14-2. And Jerry Jones saw that and said, no. If I'm working my butt off to get my brand out there, and we win a lot more games than the New Orleans Saints, then no. I should make more money. This is America. And you know what? I actually agree with that. And when he took on the NFL, I got to give him credit for that. Now, it is hilarious, as we talked about on Friday. Remember, new episodes of Sports City Nation come to you every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And so Friday was a fun show just to talk about the Michael Parsons thing, as Jerry calls him Michael. But so we rag on Jerry for the stupid stuff. But look, over the last 30 years, he understands like TV rights and just making money and being a trendsetter that way. So we give him credit for that part. All right, let's jump to LSU. I want to talk about, because that was the other. We like to make fun of Brian Kelly. I think even LSU fans like to make fun of Brian Kelly. I can't find a single person who would not want to make fun of Brian Kelly. Probably the Thanksgiving table, his family even makes fun of him.
He's a gifted actor. He has all those different dialects that he speaks all the time.
For sure.
You know?
For sure.
He's very good. There's people like Christian Bale who can speak, 12, 14 different dialects. And then there's people like Brian Kelly who can just speak an unlimited amount of dialects. And I don't know who deserves more of the Academy Award, his dialect or his dancing. Either way, the guy is like cringe to the max, and that's what the kids say these days. I think it's like cringe. I don't know, but yeah. He's that video they always show him like on the little like turnstile thing, like dancing, get out of here.
So Rachel, what jumped out to you about the LSU game?
So I think what we talked about was that LSU needed their portal players, which they stacked their defense in the portal because that was their weakness last year, that they needed them to come out and perform if they were going to win this game and to prevent Brian Kelly from going 0-4 in starters. So, again, to make fun of him. And you know what? He delivered. Those portal players, the defense looked phenomenal. Nussmeier was a little shaky, gotta say. He and Klubnik did not play their best games or play up to their standards. I don't think Klubnik, everyone's talking about both of them being Heisman candidates. I don't think either of them at the end of the season are going to be invited to New York for the Heisman Trophy ceremony. Or
To the barbecue. They're not invited to the barbecue.
Yeah. Wherever they're having it. I don't think that either of them are going to perform to the level that everyone expects. But I was impressed with LSU's defense in particular and hanging in that game and giving them an opportunity to win. So that stood out to me. I thought LSU is a team that was complete enough that I think they, honest to God, have an opportunity to win a national championship this year. Also, what I was thinking is, thank God LSU won that game, because how bad is the SEC going to look if we drop Texas, Alabama, and LSU all on the same day? So I was really.
But Auburn, don't worry.
Clean up duty. We got some clean up duty. Don't worry.
On aisle 6.
It's like, this is really bad.
Yeah. Luckily, Auburn swept in.
I mean, if it wasn't for the letter R coming before the letter U, Auburn would be the top of the SEC right now. So with a 1-0 record, because
enjoy it while you can. Ti.
That's how it works. Yeah. Speaking of, I find it amusing when Dabo Swinney gets exposed a little bit, just because he's another guy that gets on my nerves. Yeah. I don't know if it's just the two different styles of coaching versus a lot of SEC coaches versus some of the outsiders. That's the way I look at the other conferences. I know there's good coaches and great players, but I still feel like everybody's trying to be the SEC. It doesn't matter, Ohio State, Michigan, they can win the next 5 national championships. I still think SEC is like the measuring stick for recruiting and for passion. I mean, look at Texas. Like, Texas comes over, joins the SEC. Texas football is just, is in a league of its own, not necessarily just all of it, So with that being said, I do like seeing Dabo lose. And Rachel, I mean, at the expense of your Bammers there, we opened up the day with watching Arch kind of crap the bed and Texas get exposed a little bit. Then we watched Bama kind of falter, and then we watched Dabo. It was a good day for the haters of college football. It was a good day for the haters. So,
let's talk Arch Manning.
Yeah,
Arch Manning,
why not? I think
next.
people are jumping to they're jumping to conclusions too quick. Like, they're just like, oh, this guy sucks. Like, okay.
Well,
sure, go ahead.
Here's the credit I want to give.
Think that.
No, here's the credit that I want to give, and I'm not overly excited to do this because I'd rather make fun of him for his tenure as Detroit Lions head coach. But Matt Patricia truly did. Those are NFL schemes, okay? These are not college football schemes, I promise you. And it really had Arch where you thought it was zone defense at the start of the play, then the linebackers switched, whatever. It was 3 guys covering 2. Arch had nowhere to go. It's not like his 19th college start. Like, that was a big deal, a really big deal. And I'm interested to see how Ohio State does through the rest of the Big Ten now as they go through the season with that defense. It reminds me of what we thought of the Minnesota Vikings last year, T.I. If you remember, we were talking about, look, this Minnesota defense is schemed differently than almost all these other NFL teams, and it's keeping the Vikings close in a lot of games. I'm interested to see what Ohio State does on defense because of that coordinator there. And again, I have no love for that dude. I'd rather make fun of him, but they killed it on defense. They really did. Rachel, what did you see?
Yeah, I mean, everyone's saying Arch sucks, and T.I., I agree. Like, can you think of a bigger stage for a guy who already has the weight of the world sitting on his shoulder from everybody?
Because his last name.
Yeah. So your expectations because of your surname is this, and you have to go on the road, play in the freaking Horseshoe
National
for your
champion.
first game. Like,
They just won the Natty.
I'm just like, why could we
And
give this guy a worse situation to
Big
come out
noon
and make his
kickoff.
first start?
Lee Corso couldn't even pick him. Shout
Yeah, it
out
was
to
Lee
Lee
Corso's
Corso.
final.
Yeah.
I think, you look at his stats on paper, his performance in action maybe wasn't what we expected, but his stats on paper weren't bad, and they actually weren't that different than Julian Sayans. So
Yeah.
I think everyone's saying, like, he sucks because our expectations were that his ceiling was here and he was going to play at the ceiling, whereas maybe he played like a normal kid playing their first game against the number 3 team on the road.
Imagine that.
I think Texas is still a great team. I think they learned a lot in this game, and I think they're still a force to be reckoned with in the SEC through the rest of the season. This game hurts them none. It helps them more than anything.
Right, because every team that's going to win the national championship is going to have 1 or 2 losses. Those, like, we have these ideas in our head of a national champion over the last decade should have a goose egg, and we just know that that's not the case. And especially now that the NCAA has actually literally, it's not like, oh, we just think it's this way. They've come out and said that they are going to reward you if you don't do a Nick Saban. If you actually, to poke a little bit at Nick Saban, like he didn't want to schedule these types of games, but now it's going to hurt you if you don't. Yeah. And every year now we're going to have a game of, Texas versus Oklahoma or Ohio State versus, Alabama or whatever it is
or
of a 2 marquee names. Well,
Utah
hold on. I want to be in a
UCLA.
good mood here. We're not talking about that yet. Give me a minute. I got to collect my thoughts. But like, it's going to happen every year. It's going to be played in Jerry's World, or it's going to be played in Atlanta, like whatever, right? For the money and all this. And then all of us people and people in the media in December, we're going to come along and talk about, well, remember back in August, that first game, that team's learned a lot from back in August and learned a lot. That's what we're going to be saying, right? It's just a thing now. So let's just get used to it. NIL money, the portal, all is well. It's the wild, wild west for now. Let's enjoy college football. Let's not talk about UCLA. I told you so on that.
Just skip that game. UT fans were excited about that game. I will say that they are having a blast with that situation. And hey, good for them. Good for them.
But that is hilarious for sure.
I mean, let's just be real though. When the news first broke that he's wants more money, now he's leaving. There were a lot of UT fans initially that were like, oh, this is going to be a disaster. And then it flipped, and then they changed their mind once your Aguilar dude came over, and then now they're just rolling on the floor laughing.
Well, how'd you guys think Tennessee, Rachel? How'd you think Tennessee looked?
I mean, they're better off with Aguilar than they were with Nico. I loved seeing Nico lose too. I mean, the difference is he's now going out to lose, and everyone's already in bed, so no one's seeing it.
Yeah, not me. I stayed up. 11 p.m. local time. 11 p.m. local time is when it came on.
I'm old lady. It's past my bedtime.
I was just like, ugh.
Yeah, so I thought I didn't watch much of. I watched the highlights of the UT game. There were too many other good games on, and I was watching my team. So, but I mean, Aguilar, he looked and played the part the way that we expected. Remember, I swiped left on Nico and right on Joey Aguilar.
Oh yeah.
That's playing out perfectly. I will be really interested to see him play against some real teams in conference play.
Yeah, which shout out to your podcast. Tell us a little bit about your podcast with your bestie.
So we have a podcast called Sports Uncorked. It is completely unfiltered sports talk with 2 girls who actually kind of know. I mean, we pride ourselves in knowing what we're talking about. As you can see today, I'm not just like getting advice from ChatGPT. We've been sports fans
or saying, "Oh, I like their colors. I like their colors. They're orange. They're pretty."
Right.
He has the cutest butt.
We're
that tight
diehard, passionate fans, and the look and feel of our show is 2 best friends that are sitting down it's almost like you're sitting down and having a beer with us, and we're talking about sports. So it's really anything that's kind of top of mind in the sports world. The uncorked part comes from our love of wine. We generally are uncorking and drinking a bottle of wine during the show. So as you can imagine, towards the end of it, when we're a glass and a half, 2 glasses in, the filter is completely removed, and it's pretty fun. So, but
Yes, and I will say,
if you want to hear that disaster.
Speaking of disaster, the first episode of this season, you have to stay tuned. As I'm a good fan, I did stay and watch even to the very end of the blooper. And Marissa, who was on our episode earlier, she is in hiding today, but you have seen her previously on Sports Edit Nation. I have not seen this much wetness since like a 3-year-old wet their pants. I mean, she gets up and when she opened the bottle in the beginning, it goes everywhere and it's all over her. And in the bloopers, you just see it and it is hilarious. So yeah, check out your show on YouTube. You can catch it, right?
Yeah,
wherever you get your podcast. Yeah,
your podcast. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. All right. So Ti, with Auburn, you were expecting, not just being a homer, you were expecting to win this game. Was there something that you actually saw where you're like, actually, we may actually turn some heads because of
quarterback play? We have a quarterback. I mean, he's had some ups and downs. I think they said he's had 4 or 5 OCs in his college career so far.
Out of control?
Yes, out of control. But I mean, we got an exciting white out there with some wheels. He was running all over them. Now, granted, it's Baylor. Come on. Once the SEC defense has shut that down, I want to see how he picks that up. I want to see if he can sling it all around the field like he was the other night. Again, it's Baylor. So, but they've got two weeks I think till SEC play. So we'll see how they look here in a few weeks. But I'm very more excited this season now than I was this time last year, because I was like, great, another season of this. Here we go. Another season, a bunch of guys out there waving their hands and nobody to throw it to them. So now I think we got a decent quarterback. I mean, he's a 5-star. Let's see if he lives up to the hype. He is a transfer. But, Auburn has had success with transfer QBs in the past. So we'll see what happens,
Well, he's
Jared Stidham's perfect example. I mean, he came over from Baylor, so,
Yeah. He's no Colton Joseph. Colton Joseph, Rachel, I don't know if you know who that is. He is the quarterback. He's an exciting white from Old Dominion. Did you see his 75-yard run against IU? Hilarious. The dude had now 3 picks, but he rushed for 179 yards on IU, and including a 75-yard untouched. Do you remember that Colin Kaepernick touchdown against the Packers where he went untouched for like 80 yards just on a sweep to the right? This was one of those that all of a sudden the dude's just running down the field.
Which time Colin Kaepernick did that?
Yeah, exactly.
Which time?
I remember,
because he did it 8 times each playoff game. So
in that game against Clay Matthews, I remember was so upset. It was like, I loved it. But yeah, so shout out. I just had to give a special shout out to this dude because he was an exciting white, Colton Joseph. Like he's never gonna do anything else in his career.
Colton Joseph and Jackson Arnold sound like they'd be a buddy cop movie, Colton and Jackson back on the streets,
right? 21 Jump Street, Part 4.
Back in action, back on the plains. Anyway, let's not turn this into that Cool as Ice episode. Where we named off about 18 different sequels to Cool as Ice. Let's
stay in the Big Ten because I just got a notification on my phone that Illinois just scored again on Western Illinois. It's now 70-3. Just kidding.
We were really going to spend some time talking about that?
Nope. Okay. Nope. This is just the humor. It's the humor portion of the show.
Just making sure. I really wasn't prepared to talk about the depth chart of Illinois football.
No, I'm just looking else at the Big Ten. I guess we can talk a little bit about UCLA Obviously, they only scored 10 points. It was a joke. Utah's defense is that good. I'll give them a lot of credit.
Not always too terrible.
Exactly. Purdue has not given up a touchdown on the season, although Purdue had a bye. They played Ball State. Michigan, my buddy Paul went to the game. New Mexico, did you see their trick play? Did you guys see their trick play, how they got their first touchdown on 4th and 2?
Yeah, I think that was the one you sent in the chat.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was confusing for everyone. Even the Michigan fans were like, what's going on?
Wait, is that legal? Well, it was confusing when the guy snaps the ball and it hits the ground and the running back has to just catch it on a bounce, and then the tight end leaks out and catches a touchdown at the big house. That's pretty cool. But we knew, Michigan was not losing that game. But I don't know, in the Big Ten.
Portnoy was having a blast with that online. He was like, yeah, we scored more points than Ohio State in the first 5 minutes or whatever. I don't know. I thought it was pretty.
Yeah,
thought it was a pretty petty tweet, but I mean that's the name of his game. So
I feel like you should have.
Yeah.
So another notable game was Penn State, because they are another pick to win the national championship, but that's not why I'm bringing them up. They played Nevada. Does anyone know who Nevada's quarterback is? This is some trivia.
At one point, it was Colin Kaepernick, but I don't know who it is anymore.
It is Chubba Purdy. And yes, I said Purdy. That is Brock's brother. And
Brock's brother's name is Chubba?
and
what?
He sucked.
Yes.
Chubba?
He sucked.
Chubba?
His name is Chubba. Chubba.
I mean, at least
Look, I don't keep track of the Purdy family other than Brock, okay?
I mean, you could say Chuba.
He's not a running back for the Carolina Panthers.
Chuba. I know, but it could sound good. I mean, all right. Hey, whatever. I wouldn't expect him to be very good. I mean, where is he at? He's at Nevada?
I would expect he played at Florida State.
Well,
so
I mean,
his name is Preston.
He's on the team. I don't know if he played there.
His name is Preston.
Preston. I mean, that tracks more.
Preston Purdy.
So his name is So it's his nickname. Okay, you didn't say that. You didn't say that.
But even on the roster, it just says Chubba, dude. Like, it's almost like Debo Samuel. Like, they don't. You know what I mean? It's one of those. But he played for Nebraska and Florida State.
Man, you know, Kool-Aid. There's a guy named Kool-Aid. Okay, that doesn't
what they're
mean
saying
anything,
though.
You know?
What they're saying is this guy's he's 6'3", 205. You realize Brock Purdy's nowhere near that. So
yeah. So
supposedly, I don't know why he sucks. I don't know.
Maybe you should be a tight end and not a quarterback. Maybe you should be catching the balls.
Definitely not quarterback if they're playing Penn State, because that did not go well.
No offense to you, but the league doesn't need two Purdys. We got one. We don't need two of them. You know, I like the Mr. Irrelevant story. I do. I think it's awesome.
Right.
But let's not try to replicate it with the lesser of the Purdys.
Hey, you're just trying to get out of a bet because Rachel, don't know if you know this, but
we bet?
my 49ers play the Tennessee Titans this year, and because they play in California, I'm not going to go all the way out there. I talked about TI, which we'll give you the time here, TI, to let us know a little bit about what's going on. But I'm hoping to drive down to Nashville so that I can arm wrestle TI, and I have a bet that the 49ers are going to win by double digits. That's the bet. So I'm giving him 10 points. That's pretty good. But TI's hosting because he's Mr. Relevant in Nashville, over 33,000 followers. So he's hosting a watch party. So TI, tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, we were going to be hosting a lot of watch parties this year at Low Bar Nashville, which is about a 5-minute drive from the stadium. It's about a 22-minute walk from the stadium. So it's very awesome, very convenient for home games, very convenient for all games, even away games to watch as well. So we hope to be having one around that time, as long as the world is still intact and Nashville hasn't imploded. We will plan on having a watch party for that game.
Yeah, that is dope. I'm excited. I love being in Nashville, honestly, just the vibe and the energy. And I get it. Like, if you live there and like you kind of have to go through downtown, it's too busy and you're late to where you're going. I totally get that, as I used to live near San Francisco. Like, it can be a pain, But man, if you don't live there and then you get to visit, it's just one of those cool, really, really cool places. So I'm definitely excited for that. We will talk more
I just
things
don't drive my
NFL.
vehicle. I just don't drive my vehicle anywhere in Nashville. I just pretty much.
It's pointless, right?
Yeah. I mean, if you go downtown and pay for parking, oh man, it's ridiculous. Although where we are at for the watch parties, there's a lot of parking on the street. So depending on what time, like off 8th and 7th and stuff, you can usually find like parking on the street, which is free 99. So
nice.
Always check off 8th first. But like I said, man, it's gonna be a lot of fun. So
yeah. And we'll talk more NFL later this week. Remember, new episodes are every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So Friday after the opener, we'll talk like more NFL. I don't think that Eagles-Cowboys game is going to be much of a game. Oh, Dallas can stop the run now, apparently, since they got the big boy, but gosh, that's going to be bad. So Friday will be a fun show because we'll talk all things NFL. Okay, so for college football, we also have a game tonight. It's kind of like a special Monday Night Football tease for football, and we got a lot of NFL experience there. The fighting Belichick's, is that what we can call them?
I mean, he's the only person they put on screen for any of the graphics. It's like TCU versus North Carolina, and then it's just a picture of Bill Belichick. There's no North Carolina players, the TCU players. Yeah, it's just
he might be the long snapper. Maybe they're trying to get him on the field for I don't know what he could possibly.
Bunch of Bill Belichick's out there playing TCU apparently. So good luck to Bill.
Yeah, TCU. I don't know. I can't name a single player. I can't tell you like, are they supposed to be good? I just know North Carolina's schedule is favorable, and if we'll see the real what Dabo really is, like if Clemson is going to be good, because Carolina's schedule is favorable, and with the amount of teams that get in to have a chance to win a national championship, like it's going to be crazy if Belichick can get those young boys to buy into everything, because he's going to have them ready. I mean, there's no question about that. I mean, but it'll be interesting to see what do you see the score, TI, for tonight's game?
Let's see. Let's try to think realistically. TCU in the past knows how to score points. I don't know if they know how to play defense, but they typically can score points. I would say that it's not going to be low scoring, so I'm not going to go that defensive route. I'm going to say it's going to be
over. Okay.
I think it's going to be. Let me go ahead and throw it out there. Let's say 28-24 is going to be the final score. North Carolina's going to win.
North Carolina's going to win. Okay.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, you gotta bet on Bill on this first one. Like football gods are going to be in favor for him.
You give some points to them.
He's married to somebody that's like 40 years younger than him, and he's just living in life, man. So we got to give him some. We got to give him some love right now. Like we said, he's the only one playing in the game because it's the only one on any of the graphics that they show on TV. So, hey. He's a pretty good football player for his age. He's living the life. So shout out to Bill, and his dog Nike, by the way, if he still has it. I don't know if he got that in the divorce or whatever, but I remember in the COVID draft, they kept panning back to his house, and it was just like his dog Nike, like on the computer, and it was like, oh,
that's right.
Dog Nike, which I thought was hilarious.
He
has a dog named Nike, which is pretty hilarious. But yeah,
right now there's North Carolina.
So I'm going for North Carolina. I'm not rooting for them. I'm just picking them.
So 28-24, Rachel, fair or foul?
I would go a little higher. I would say that Chapel Bill is not going to win this game. I think TCU is going to come out ahead 31-24. I agree, high scoring. I've never seen a program with as much hype as UNC, with us knowing nothing about the team. I mean, has he even released his starting roster yet? He has 70 new players. Like, we literally know nothing about this program. And It's so hyped. It's crazy. This is all crazy talk.
So
Yeah.
that was a great segment for Deion Sanders. So can we talk about Colorado? Because that's kind of the same situation. And a lot of people are talking about who's going to have a better season, Deion or Bill. And Deion, someone needs to at least text him, maybe like someone that he has timeouts. I don't know if he knows.
Here, hold on. I got a Dion on my phone real quick.
Yeah,
Let me
like,
text
dude,
you, let him-
you got timeout. What? is
Somebody
happening?
also needs to text him and tell him to slow his roll on his sound bites, because he said you didn't beat us, you just outlasted us. Like, no, they beat you. You lost. They scored more points than you.
Yeah,
you lost. So I'm just like, whatever kind of message you're trying to send your players there by telling them not to keep their heads down, you could just tell them, hey, we lost it. Keep, guys.
It's a long season.
We got this season.
Yeah,
you don't go out there and give them bulletin board material for every other team out there. It's like, oh, great, our coach is saying dumb shit again. Now everybody's going to want to really beat us twice as hard now.
Yeah, that's just wild.
He always brings a target on his team, and then they get in these games where they might have a good matchup, ranked against another ranked opponent, and then they just get blown out of the water, and everybody's like, oh, well, they're a few years off or whatever. There's always some excuse, so.
Right.
But
Only
kudos to Georgia Tech for outlasting them.
Only Neon Dion could have a sponsor for his bladder issues. Did you see the Depends tent on the sideline? I'm like, cool. That got a lot of press,
my goal
too.
one day is to be in the. Yeah, my goal one day is to be the Depends model on the, and when you're walking by, you look at the Depends and you're like, oh man, that guy, he went into modeling and they found a perfect job for him. He's on the Depends, So hopefully one day I can achieve that level of greatness.
I ain't hard to find. I'm on the toilet.
Like, so you could have just masked that you were going into a tent to go to the bathroom, but no, you wanted to put Depends all over it. So when you go in there, we know what's going on. Jesus.
How much NIL money is Depends sending Colorado's way?
Well, it depends on.
It depends. It's good. That's good.
So okay,
that wasn't even in the notes. Way to go, Adam.
Yeah, no, that was a little ad lib. Here's their schedule. So Colorado, next few games versus Delaware. I think they allow women on that team. I'm not sure. So,
I'm in Delaware.
We're Delaware. Like
program, cool.
At Houston, versus Wyoming versus BYU, which BYU won like 50-0 their game. I don't know if that means they're good. I don't know. But then they're at TCU versus Iowa State, at Utah, which has a very good defense.
Not too terrible. Maybe that day they won't be too terrible on the defense.
Yeah, they have four more losses easy on this schedule. I mean, let alone some games that may be tough for them. Kansas State, Arizona State, at West Virginia. We'll see how those go. But they will lose another 4 or 5 games for like 100%. So like, people say who's going to have a better season. Are you telling me I don't even need to get into again? I've already done this with North Carolina, and over their schedule, they are not losing 5 games. I just don't see it. So people are like, oh, who's going to have the better season? Dude, what kind of a question is that? Like, it's Bill Belichick by a mile, by double or triple amount of losses for Deion. We'll have either double or triple the amount of losses. So I don't know really what we're talking about, but people just love Deion, which I get.
Still, though, I mean, it's not a, the ACC is not a lock because, I mean, look at what Florida State just did. Nobody saw that coming, So, there's a lot. There's a lot of wild cards there. Clemson may wind up being the cream of the crop there. We don't know. Maybe LSU was the way for them to open up the season with a real team. Maybe they will learn from that. And, we just don't know. So I'm not saying that, UNC is a surefire bet to win the conference or to be in the end there. But I mean, I would expect
to be better than Colorado.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, for sure. Of course. But I again, though, when you're naming off those opponents of Colorado, I was looking at about a 1-5 there to start the season, really, except maybe Delaware. I mean,
Right.
I always think of that scene in Wayne's World where they're like using the green screen, and they're like, and then it shows them in Delaware. They're like, "Hi, we're in Delaware." Like,
Yeah.
who's like, I can't wait to go on vacation to Delaware.
Yeah, you think of Delaware, like there's no crime. It's like, the Netherlands or something. Like it's like
They have like a poster, Delaware. We have an airport.
yeah, there's nothing to do here.
If you gave me a map of the Northeast and told me to name where Delaware was, I couldn't do it.
No. I
No,
I don't think I could
either.
That state.
I will admit
me or Miss Teen South Carolina. Neither of us could.
Here's an embarrassing fact that I will admit to you guys. I was freakishly old when I realized that Boston is more northeast than New York. I thought the Yankees were the most northeast team. Like, I was in my 20s. Like, that shouldn't be. Like, people should know that Boston is, farther out. But I just always thought of New York as like, Let
me take a note on that real quick.
Yeah. I didn't know that.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I totally knew that.
You talked about South Carolina, and that brings us to a great point, because Rachel was texting me, and she had some notes on South Carolina. Why do you think that they are a team to kind of keep an eye on?
Lenora Sellers, 2 words. Lenora Sellers. If he's not in the Heisman hunt this year, he will absolutely be next year. That guy he's magical. And what he can do to a defense it's prescriptive. So I think he's a guy to watch. I think Shane Beamer is a phenomenal coach that people want to play for.
Yeah.
So I think he has a wonderful locker room. He has a solid quarterback. They're a team to watch in the SEC.
Yeah. I can't disagree there. I liked watching the highlights I saw. A couple of them, I was like, okay, this guy can play. I don't know much about him. I think I may have just learned his name yesterday, or Saturday rather. But either way, yeah, I agree there. South Carolina has been hit or miss last couple of years. Well, really last 20 years, but maybe they'll, like you said, maybe they'll live up to a little hype there. But yeah, he's a good baller, so I'm excited to watch him.
They won the end of last season. They won, I think, 5 games straight. They beat Clemson. I mean, and they were a conversation piece to get into the college football playoff at the end of last year.
They were.
A lot of talent in the portal. They didn't lose a lot of talent to the draft. Their team mostly stayed intact. So I think they've got the talent to make a pretty darn good run in the SEC, and a favorable schedule to do so as well.
I remember Virginia Tech, not just the Michael Vick years, and I'm talking about Frank Beamer, the dad. Like, those teams were in those types of conversations as well back then, and it is cool to see his son now kind of doing that at this different school, and then they play Virginia Tech. Like, that was kind of interesting for sure. And I didn't know much about them either. When you said that, I kind of looked up some stuff and like, okay, yeah, you're not wrong. They're the team to kind of, now we want to see this next month. Like, let's check back in and see, will they be 4-0 and a dominant 4-0? Will they be, how's that going to shape out? The SEC has some shaping out to do for sure in this next month, because a high tide raises all ships. Like, what is Alabama going to end up? Are they, I saw this meme. It all started when, here we go, she goes to the glasses. So here's what started. The meme that when the old ball coach left his office, it looked like the Oval Office, and the new office looks like a T-Mobile like operation. And that was the downfall of Alabama. Agree or disagree?
I don't think it was the office. I think Marissa and I were talking about this yesterday, and she said DeBoer doesn't have any kind of like excitement. He's not pissed when there's a bad call. He's not pissed when there's a bad play. I mean, we're used to seeing Saban on the sideline, who we could be up 56-3 and we make a mistake and he's throwing stuff and just cursing the players. Like, if they made a mistake, they were scared to go on the sideline. Or just stands there like you got a parking ticket, you know? I feel like there's not that heat and that motivation in our program. The culture has shifted so much that Saban retires and gives him the keys to a Ferrari, and he's turned the damn program into a lawnmower. Like, what is going on? And I was somebody who was patient. I thought he comes from a successful program. He might not know the SEC, but he's going to figure it out, you know? And I
don't know. I don't know if he's going to figure it out. It looked more like a weed eater the other night than it did a lawnmower. But, so here's my conspiracy theory. Okay, you can debunk it. You're an Alabama fan. You're an Alabama graduate. You're Alabama faithful. So you can feel free to debunk it. This is my theory. It doesn't matter if Jesus Christ himself came in after Nick Saban. Nobody is going to live up to that, right? But you weren't going to be able to bring in a nobody because you have to replace Nick Saban. I think DeBoer is a sacrificial lamb. I think he eventually, if he doesn't turn around, he just gets bought out. I think the buyout's like $69-70 million. That's nothing for Alabama boosters. I just think like they tried to take the hottest name in college, whether it worked out or not, to satisfy the fan base because it was like, holy shit, we're losing Nick Saban. And it doesn't matter who gets there. I don't think he's going to have any kind of success that's going to make the fan base and the boosters really want to keep him around. And I think it's going to be the same situation that Auburn did with Brian Hartzline or whatever his name was, Hartson. You know, Harsin. Yeah, it's the same thing. Like he was a hot name. We're going to bring him in. We pushed Gus Malzahn out, so we got to bring somebody in. We bring this guy in 18 months, bought him out. You know, so I could be wrong. I see the same scenario for DeBoer and you guys, and the next person that comes in, I think, rights the ship. Now I'm jumping to conclusions way ahead of time, but that's what I see down the road. As an Auburn fan, I mean, it breaks my heart to see you guys in a turmoil and struggling.
Oh my!
But it's only one game. I mean, you could win the next 10 in a row and look the part. So I'm not going to jump to any conclusions because
he's learned his lesson. He's learned his lesson.
Well, I mean, the Gravedigger game, like everything, you name it, I've seen it all. I mean, I was joking about Auburn giving up fourth quarter touchdowns on our last episode. They gave up fourth down touchdowns. I was joking about fourth down touchdowns, and they gave up 2 of them to Baylor. So, I mean, I'm just like, my God, it never ends. So, and one of them was nasty, too. One of them was like, ooh, how do you give up that on a fourth down? But anyway.
I mean, I agree with you that it was going to be big shoes to fill, but when you lose to Vanderbilt and then you lose to Oklahoma and then you lose to Michigan, and I'm like, it's just you're going to step in some, but do you have to step in all of the bad ones? All of them.
All the landmines? Like you didn't avoid a single one?
And he doesn't get upset. I mean, that's the thing is like, how are you a passionate coach if you're just kind of like on the sideline, like you just blink and you're like, okay, cool, like another penalty, no problem.
Yeah,
you're
right about his energy on the sidelines. DeBoer is more like it. But Nick Saban, like you used that parallel there. Nick Saban got angry when a team would score a field goal, like he was getting a bonus if he shut a team out. I mean, he was like, it would be 70 or 69-0, and a team would get a field goal in the last 5 seconds of the game. And Nick Saban, you'd think that he just lost the national championship. So, it's a big 180 there for sure. I saw, people who follow our page probably saw it. I saw it going around everywhere. Definitely not one we created, but absolutely hilarious. But it's Hank Hill and Bobby's talking to his mom, and he's like, Dad's talking to the Nick Saban plate again, and he's like over in his chair talking to the Nick Saban plate, Oh, it's a good meme,
Yeah,
so,
the Wolverine one where he's like, I miss you. He's laying in bed.
So we'll see how it turns out, but yeah, it's tough sledding right now for you guys.
It is. I mean, I hope it gets better. I mean, what I hope is that Florida State turns out to be a surprise team in the ACC, and they turn out to be fabulous. I did call earlier in this summer when they hired Gus Malzahn. I was like, this game now turned more interesting because Gus Malzahn had Alabama's number for so long, as you know.
Absolutely.
I'm like,
love him.
he is going to cause some chaos, not just for Bama, but for everyone.
For the
He's
ACC
not-
now.
Part of me thinks that hire was specifically for that game, and they knew what else.
A one-game
what else
contract?
They get. Well, no, just like, okay, we're bringing in Gus. We've got Bam on the schedule. I mean, they've had that game scheduled. It's not they didn't just add it. So they're like, hey, let's bring in somebody who knows Alabama better. Let's start our season off with a bang. And Gus Bus got you. I was one of the Auburn fans that did not want Gus gone. I thought Gus had a pretty bad record with developing quarterbacks. But other than that, I thought he was an offensive genius. I loved his attitude. I love his personality. I love the fact that he just loves to go to Waffle House and celebrate a victory. Like,
I love his visor.
It's my kind of dude, man. So I was sad to see him go, but I was excited to watch him take it to you guys because he was loving it. I could just see it on his face. He was like,
he's like,
and hey, maybe you guys just need to bring him in. Maybe you need to make him your next head coach.
Oh my gosh,
it would be interesting. That would be a hilarious story, right? But like you said, maybe FSU. Yeah, maybe FSU is a surprise team. Maybe Gus Malzahn, and maybe they have an offense that's scoring a ton of points. And everybody's like, hey, Malzahn's back. And yeah, right. Like maybe at the end of the year, you're looking at Florida State, the top 10 team, Alabama. Maybe they only have 2 losses. And you're looking at that like, okay, well, that game was a lot different than what we thought at the beginning of the season. So that's to me, the gift and the curse of college football. You still have your conference, you still have your rivals and your games where you don't show up on Saturday and somebody beats you didn't expect to lose to. And the NFL is like you can still somehow in college pull it off in the end and still be there. NFL is like, you lose 3 games, you're dead in the water at that point.
Right.
So I do like that about college football, where for the most part it is anybody's game until the end of the year. So we'll just hold this conversation and hold the celebratory applause for the downfall of Alabama until there's an actual downfall of Alabama to witness.
Well, and it's also funny because we do love having Rachel on, but just to be honest, most people that listen to this show, watch us on YouTube, follow us on social media, they love when Alabama loses because most of the country, we have people in all states that I see that comment in on our different stupid memes that we share, people from all over. And the general consensus is that because of what Nick Saban built, that people got tired of it, that's more of a like, haha, for you, Rachel, honestly, like you had your moment, but like no one is going to come to your side. Like, and you wouldn't have it any other way, I'm sure.
And if people are Alabama fans and they are like so upset about this, I mean, this is humbling for a lot of people who have like don't remember we used to not win all the time. We had like a bunch of years with a bunch of mics that were bad. This is like that. The dynasty is not
mics.
This is like what real people feel with real teams year in, year out. And it's actually
hi, UCLA fan here.
Marissa and I talk about it all the time. We're
Chip
like,
Kelly.
This is it got to be where it wasn't fun to watch the games because they were just blowouts, or like nobody wants to watch Alabama play in a national championship again. I mean, we and it sounds bad like as fans that we felt that way, but we kind of did. Like it wasn't exciting. We just felt like we were on the edge of our seat anymore. So I don't know. I'm like, this is just part of being a fan. Like you can't win every game. You can't dominate every season. But we just want our coach to show some heart and feel like the culture is still there, even if you don't win them all. And that's where I feel like we feel that DeBoer is stumbling a bit, is that culture and that passion is just not kind of what we have felt in the past.
I mean, he came over from Washington, right? Isn't that where he was before DeBoer?
Yeah.
I mean, what does Washington know about SEC passion and culture and just tradition. Like, no, sorry, Washington. Sorry, the Huskies. No offense. I mean, I know that you guys have been in the playoffs and snuck in there, but you've never, to me, have never been like a threat to anybody. So, I agree totally there. Just he doesn't get it. Maybe he does, but at that point it'd be too late. But two points. One about kind of losing the luster of winning, and hiring coaches named Mike, because they actually go hand in hand. Titans, they hired 3 Mikes in a row. They had 3 head coaches in a row named Mike, literally, and that did not work out too well.
I like Vrabel.
I like Vrabel as well. I do think that the writing was on the wall there, like he was going to New England. But that's kind of what I'm getting at. Is I was picking up a to-go order a couple days ago, and I was talking to this fella next to me. I had my Titans shirt on, and he asked me, very observant, "Are you a Titans fan?" And I wanted to no, man, I'm just got a Titans shirt.
I'm just Titans idiot. I'm the Titans idiot.
So anyway, he's like, "Oh, I'm a Patriots fan," and this is what I'm getting at. He said, "I really hope that you guys can turn it around. I really hope you guys can get it together. I live here, but I'm a Patriots fan." He's like, "We've won like 5 Super Bowls." He's like, "I don't even care if we win anymore." And that's the kind of thing. It's like you get to the point to where nobody usually gets a chance to even see their team win a championship, much less 2, much less 3, much less 5. So once you get to that point, you're satisfied. I mean, I'm still riding off Auburn's 2010. I'm still devastated from them losing to Jameis. I still think about that. Like, oh, I wish I had that second one, but at least I got one. Tennessee fans, like when I was graduated high school, that's the year they won the national championship. I'm, of course, Auburn fan. Like all of my friends were so happy. And they haven't felt that since, but at least they got that one. So I understand that people will laugh at you by saying, "Oh, she's not being honest," but it is. You get immune to winning. You're like, oh, we did it again.
Yeah.
Oh, we're playing Texas national championship. Oh, we're playing Notre Dame national championship. Hopefully it's a game. Oh, we're winning by 4 touchdowns already. Like I get it totally. I mean, that year in Eddie Lacy was like he had like 3 touchdowns in like the first 5 minutes of the game.
Right.
So yeah, I do think you do get numb to winning, and you can get humbled quickly in the SEC, and that's what I think is going on right now. So I agree with you.
Yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be fun to feel like we don't know if we're going to win on Saturday. And all this is it's so weird to say, but I think it's good. It's good for our program.
Yeah. College football's back, baby. We love it. We love to talk about it. We love to watch it. We love the marquee matchups, whoever it is. We love the situations like Ohio State and Texas, or LSU and Clemson, and all these, and then as it gets closer to where you have your Michigan versus Ohio State and these matchups that come up a little bit later as well. So we're in it now, and then NFL's coming. Baseball playoffs are right around the corner. It's that time of year. The weather starts turning, and man, we're in it now. We are in
baseball. Baseball's almost done. I thought there was at least 200 games left.
There is, but man, they're to the part of the season where they play 10 games a day. So the 200 gets done quick. It's coming quick. It is. So here's your stat of the day for baseball. Rachel, here's your trivia. Who has more home runs for their team? Yogi Berra or Aaron Judge?
Judge.
Tied.
You're tied.
Oh,
it was a trick. It was a trick. It was a trick.
Adams kept seeing it on the ticker on the Notre Dame Miami game. That's why.
Yeah,
okay.
I watched ESPN.
I saw it too. I didn't know that Yogi Bear had so many home runs while he was eating his picnic basket.
Yeah, 358 or something like that. That's a lot of home runs for a guy that can't even talk. Like he can form sentences.
A lot of home runs for a cartoon character.
Oh, so all right.
How many does Boo Boo Bear? How many home runs does
17?
Boo Boo Bear have?
He only had 17.
Oh, he is a little guy. I get
injured
it.
for 10 years.
He's a little guy.
Career.
Hey, Boo Boo.
Yeah.
Jellystone National Park. Great place to visit.
Be sure to follow Sports Uncorked. I watch them on Spotify and on YouTube, and then You can probably catch them on Apple Podcasts as well. But that means you have iPhone. Ew. So Samsung here. But yes, follow Sports Uncorked. Also on social media, just type in Sports Uncorked and you'll see the two coolest gals that you ever did see. Thanks for hanging out, Rachel.
Thanks
This
for
is not the last we'll see of you or Marissa for sure. Shout out to Miles. He was way behind enemy lines. His wife is from Brazil, and he is there. Here's a funny story about Brazil. Here's a little more trivia, Rachel. If it is 12 a.m. midnight in New York, which is the time that I'm in, what time is it in Brazil? If it is midnight,
It's 11 p.m. the prior day. It's only a 1 hour difference, isn't it?
so it is the exact same time.
Okay.
Until we change the clocks. However, I did not comprehend this, and I was like, we're in the group chat, and I'm like, hey, Miles, what time is it there? Like 4 a.m.? And he's like, it's the exact same time that it is for you. I'm like, but you're 2,000 miles away. Yeah, only underneath you. I'm not like, yeah. And I'm like, oh, like, because I'm accustomed to people like, if you're in like London or like, you're like, oh, you're farther away. Like, no, he's just south.
I thought they were. Okay.
So yeah, it's the same time as me.
Is he 2,000 miles away, or is he 5,000 miles away? So I would walk 5,000 miles.
Well, I don't know.
I would walk 5,000 miles to be with the.
Technically, you're tone deaf, and technically, I don't know if is there any strip of land that you really couldn't? I don't know. My geography is terrible. Would you have to take a boat at some point?
I don't know. Think so. I think you should walk down through Mexico, through Central America.
And then the like Panama Canal, is that a thing? And then like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, when he comes back, we'll ask him.
Yeah.
I mean, we all collectively just said we don't know where Delaware is on a map, so let's not try to figure this out.
Let's not get you out of it. Though. Yeah, we're fine. We're fine, I guess. All right, we'll figure it out. This is Sports Idiot Nation, so we are like exactly where we should be. It's fine. New episodes come every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, which means we will see you Wednesday. Thank you for watching this episode of Sports Idiot Nation. Remember, we are on all social media and on YouTube, and the podcast can be found on Spotify and Apple Podcast. Remember, new episodes are every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And remember, because you watch Sports Idiot Nation,
you would be the smartest idiot in the whole world.